They trying to turn Trenton into Baby Flint. Been signs by depression on the billboards ever since. 100 years ago we was lynched. Now they use germ warfare to kill us. I'm convinced, got the evidence. I look around and it's evident. They go down to City Hall and see so much negligence. Real art is intelligent. A true artist sends messages that speak to your intelligence. They fought and died so I can do my thing. Not to get drunk and high or join no gang. I will not let none of you die in vain. For my people I bang, bang, bang. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. They say post-traumatic slavery disorder's fake, but I just tell them all to wake up. Everything we went through, what a weight and a rape, bro. Isn't our genetic makeup. So I am my ancestors from block to block. Let's build like it's Tetris. We must unite, link up like a necklace. They fought and died and we disrespected. So I come to correct it. The legacy they left I protected. We only think about self and neglected. You're African but yet you rejected. No, my ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. I do. I go.
All right. Welcome back to another edition of New Freedom Exchange. We're here live. I got my co-host Bilal.
Salam.
Welcome, Bilal.
Assalamu warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Muhajideen, we in the building. New Freedom Exchange, back at it, beloveds. What's up?
How's everybody doing? Sorry for the little brief delay. We got a special guest with us today.
Yes.
But for those who are new to the page, This is New Freedom Exchange. It's an expression for social dignity and community empowerment. And we do our blog talk radio show every Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on station IWDM. So you can check that out, Blog Talk Radio, station IWDM, every Monday, 7 p.m. Got some special guests the next 3 weeks. So tune in for that for sure. But today, we got our beloved. Let's bring him on. That's the soundtrack. We play the soundtrack. That's my intro song to the show. Shadi, Akhi, welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. How y'all?
Walaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah. It's great,
Good to see you, man.
Good to see y'all too.
How's the weather down there?
It's nice, man. It's like 80-some degrees out here.
Roasting up here too. So let's jump right into it, man. Introduce yourself, and then we got a few questions for you, and we're gonna have a good conversation.
Right.
Okay. I go by the name of Shadi Akhi. I am from Trenton, New Jersey. Now residing in Atlanta. I grew up in the Muslim Wharf-Dean Muhammad community in Trenton, New Jersey. So Taqwa Community Learning Center, Islamic Center of Ewing, Masjid Asafat, Masjid, previously Masjid of Taqwa for Taqwa Community Learning Center. So, you know, I'm just a Sunnah music rapper, aka Islamic artist. That's really all I got to say as far as introducing.
No, let's go right to that. That was one of the questions.
Right.
That Bilal had posed. What is Sunnah music?
Yeah, what is Sunnah music? Let the people know what Sunnah music is, man.
So for the non-Muslim listeners, the Sunnah is the life teachings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So basically, you know, his sayings, his good deeds, and his teachings about the deen.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as when I put the music on it, so it's basically Islamic based music. You know how Christians have gospel music,
Mm-hmm.
and they say the gospel of Jesus. So same thing, but it's in the Islamic realm.
Excellent, excellent. What artists are you aware of that also, I guess, fit in that genre that either you collab with or you are you the pioneer, or are there people that you would recognize before you in that same genre?
Yeah. As far as Sunnah music, the title, I say I am a self-proclaimed pioneer. There have been rappers before that, you know, call it maybe halal hip hop, or give it different names. So I'm definitely not the first one to put Islamic content into my music, but I'm the one to come up with that name though. Another artist will be Dean Squad, which was a group. And right now I think they're solo artists, Jay Dean and Carter Zaire. I would say the beginning would have to be like a Native Dean. So I think Native Dean was one of the first groups. I wouldn't necessarily call them a hip hop group,
Right.
but they had definitely incorporated you know, rap into what they were doing.
You got any questions? I know there's another group, Islamic Force. A sister was telling me about. I don't know how far they go back.
Were they sisters? Were they sisters?
No, I think they were brothers. I think, I don't know. I got to do my research on that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I heard of them. But I know the most popular would be Native Dean and Dean Squad.
Okay, so my question, and probably is the question for the viewers who are watching this, is what inspired you to enter the realm of music?
I would say around 6. I used to play basketball, so that was my old dream to go to the NBA.
Okay.
But I stopped playing. I would say about 15, 16 years old, and I had met some friends in class who had a studio when they were rapping at the time. So basically, that's what got me into music. Me being in that class, it was actually a cartooning class, and so it was already a class that was filled with a lot of arts. You know, people that are into different artistic kind of genres, if you could say that. So the people that I met in that class, they're the first ones that got me into the studio. And when I first started rapping, it wasn't Islamic music. You know, I was trying to do the mainstream thing, just like a lot of different artists try to go that way. And then I would say one summer, I think that summer when I started rapping, my mom called me into the living room and told me to watch the Million Man March, or the 10-year anniversary of the Million Man March. And then that's why I was exposed to Minister Farrakhan. And basically that march kind of solidified what I really wanted to do with my music, which was to make Islamic-based music, from sitting in my mom's living room and watching the Million Man March.
Now, I think since you put that into context, I think it's important that my next question is on the culture side of things. Do you think that this genre, Sunnah music or Islamic hip hop, how relevant is it now in 2020? You know, considering the social climate, considering the unrest that we're seeing across the country, across the world now, the unrest, and also the fact that people now are starting to say, well, we should be supporting our own. So with that being said, what is your outlook on that, right, on the current state of the industry and moving forward?
I would say that Islamic music, Sunnah music, is very relevant right now at this time. As we know, Islam is about freedom, justice, and equality. You understand what I'm saying? So, really, everything that we're already about as Muslims is standing up for those three words: freedom, justice, and equality. And then also, as Muslims, we're supposed to speak the truth,
right,
and always be looking, always be researching, and trying to figure out how we can find what the truth is and put it out there to the masses of people. As the vicegerents, what we would call the vicegerents of Allah. So to put that into music is just something that is very needed right now in a environment that there are a lot of rappers that are out there, but they all have negative content. There's not a balance right now. There really hasn't been a balance, I say, ever since NWA and the old.
Man, that's right.
There was more of a balance, right? So now it seems like everything's negative. Everything's about drugs, alcohol, sex. All of the negative aspects that we have in our environment. So we just, I'm happy to be a part of, and I know Dean Squad's happy to be a part of that, bringing a balance into the industry. Because as we know, the society is a reflection. A lot of people say the music is a reflection of society, but it's became so consumed by everybody, and it's became commercialized. So now the society is a reflection of the actual music that people are listening to, and as Warfdeen Muhammad has always said, messages, they form your mindset, they form your mind, and a message is anything that sends, what's the word I want to use? Words form your mind, and a word is anything that sends a message to your mind. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to be careful about the words that we're putting out here, especially when we are musicians or anybody that has influence over the youth and the people listening to our music. So I would say that it's definitely very, it's needed right now.
And to add to that, since I think that what you were saying as far as imagery, and imagery is important, and the role of the artist, in this day and age is to create images. It helps to create images of the current society that we live in, right? So when you have, like you said, when you have corruption that has painted a picture of how, we should see things, this way we have corruption of the industry. You understand what I'm saying? And with that being said, my other concern is that the lack of support from the Muslim community in reference to our Muslim artists. Yeah. I feel as though there's been a disservice done to the artist from coming from not just Imam Muhammad's community, but even the other communities that are out here. And what is your take on that issue? Because I know we shouldn't be just making music not just for the Muslims, we're making music for everybody's consumption. Right. Everybody's listening and consumption purposes. So, what is your take on that? Because to be honest, Mujahideen put me on to you, and I'll be really honest. I've been a hip hop listener for quite a minute, and honestly, I try to keep up with as many of the artists in the Muslim community as I can. And honestly, I didn't hear nothing about Shadi Akhi.
Right.
So, I told my engineer, I said, who is this Ak, man? Like, he got heat, man. He got bangers, man.
He got bangers. He's about to play another one in a minute.
He's gonna play another banger. I mean, like, have dudes forgotten? Like, what's going on, Shadi? Tell us what's going on. What's up with that, man? What's up with that?
I think that music in general, like in the, how can I say this? I would say in the Orthodox or Sunni Islam, I think music is kind of still taboo. So,
But wait, not to cut you off, Shadi.
Break it down.
But that shouldn't even be the case. I'm talking about that shouldn't even be the case of the communities that know better. Who I'm referring to? Communities of Imam Warafudi Muhammad, communities of Minister Farrakhan. That's not the case. That's not even our argument. That's not even what I'm saying, bro. You know what I'm saying? Forget about what everyone else is still on that. Everyone else is still arguing about is music halal haram. They can have that, bro. Right. What I'm talking about is specifically the African American Muslim. Now being specific, the African American Muslim experience not supporting the African American Muslim artists that exist. That's what I'm talking about. Let's be specific, man. Let's talk about that. What's your take on that?
My take on that is, I think that we just have kind of got consumed with following the other groups of Muslims instead of, really believing in what we say that we believe. We believe that music, of course, positive music is halal. But it may not be something that, we don't, I guess the Muslims don't want to go on, what we believe to be halal. Maybe they just want to follow everybody else. I really don't have the answer to that, because I grew up just as a youth in the Muslim community, and I was never somebody that made the decisions in our community. That's what I'm saying. So that will be a better question, like for the elders. That would be a better question for the elders, because as we are doing, as the younger Muslims, you see, we're enjoying it. We're listening to the music, and we're trying to support as the youth, supporting the artists that we have. You understand what I'm saying? But I would say that Taqwa Community Learning Center, they definitely supported me.
Good. Alhamdulillah.
Good. So if it wasn't the other masjid, Taqwa Community Learning Center definitely supported me. I did many different, I had many performances for different activities that were going on inside and outside the masjid. So I think that we just need to maybe grow some more confidence as a community, grow some more confidence in our knowledge of the deen. And instead of following everyone else, put our foot down and let them know what we believe to be right. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that after a while, the other communities will start to see the light and join on as well. But we first have to have confidence in what we believe in and what we say to be, true. And I think it's really for the youth in our community to do that, because right now the elders, they're getting old. It's really for the youth to change that outlook and basically to start supporting our own, in all of the arts, not just music,
right?
But all the arts.
No, I agree. I agree. And me and Mohajideen was talking about this situation about the elders. We was really studying the generation, how we identify, Generation Z, the millennials, the baby boomers, and what they call now the silent group, which the silent group is the ages 70 on up, our grandparents and different things like that. And one of the things we were saying is that you're right in the sense that the young adults from we have the ear to the streets.
Right.
And to be honest, we always had the ear to the streets, and the culture piece is so critical when we're talking about influencing the other four birds, which are, Imam Muhammad said, the government, education, and religion. You understand what I'm saying? And business. These are things that that influence that, and the culture plays a big part of that. And it just blows my mind to have so much of this talent, Shadi, so much of this talent sitting in our communities, knowing that they have this talent, and they know that they can't make a living off of this talent, Shadi. I'm just telling you what what I've seen, what I've been told, what I've been having conversations with other people. They can't make a living off of this. They can't rely on the community to really support them financially when they were making music. Right. So when they're making their particular art, you don't have to be music, like you said, whatever art they were. So, and what happens is with the 16 to 30 group, that's really the generation that has really been forgotten, Shadi. You know what I'm saying? And now we're in the state where, our communities are, I'm gonna be honest, they're kind of stagnant in a lot of regards. They're kind of stagnant, and our masajids, our places of worship, are getting emptier by the day. You know what I'm saying? And our leadership is not being relatable to these 16 to 30 group.
Right.
So,
Old leadership. Right.
So
yeah. Allah bless new leadership to come in, right? And that's one of our interests. And I even like to address the issue of the connectivity. I'm glad the sister came in.
Oh yes,
like you said, connecting the dots, right? Sister Lydia Muhammad.
Here she goes.
She says, "Assalamu alaikum. I'm an elder.
And
I have tapes, CDs, DVDs of music that is produced by Muslims. I'm one of your strongest advocates."
Alhamdulillah, sister.
She also says, "I have so much from the early 90s, 1980s to present day." And that's the thing, right? That's the whole thing about the exchange, right? So the exchange is just what Shadi said. I mean, for the state of the community being the state that is in, because of those who were negligent, and there's a lot of, I'm seeing it from all angles now. So there was some negligence, there was some stagnation, there was some ignorance, there was a lot of components to why former leadership wasn't able to keep the continuity of the productivity of our community development, right? And so this new freedom piece is, okay, well, now we in a position, now it's our turn, right? Like we did, we definitely broke down them age demographics, man, and how they, I mean, me and Bilal got a whole piece, the social commentary piece, where each level has different language, as you mentioned earlier, about the importance of words and bringing messages to your mind, right? Keep up the good work. Yes, ma'am. The way to change is to change the language and change the behavior. So there it is. As we're doing this, as Shadi's doing, he's an example of that. I want to get another track in real quick.
Let's get another track in, man.
Real quick. So introduce this one. This is the one you just reintroduced, and it was a tribute to George Floyd. Can you talk about that? And we'll play it right after you finish your comments.
Yeah. So this next video is called Urban, and it's on my album Sunnah Music that is out on YouTube, and it's about to be released now on all streaming platforms. But it's currently on YouTube and also on my website, sunnahmusic.com. And I also have a membership site, shadiaki.com. So basically with this song, I basically incorporated things that I've been through in my life, things that I've seen in the community around me. And I've used a little of my imagination as well. So I grouped all these things in one and created this song. I actually created this song about a year ago. And the crazy thing about it is, before the George Floyd situation happened, I was getting that video worked on. So the day right around the time when the situation happened and went viral and everybody started marching is the day I received that video. And I showed my wife and she said, "Dang, this is crazy because this goes exactly what's going on right now, right? So I didn't even the George Floyd situation wasn't even in my thought process when I created this song. But of course, George Floyd is not the only one. You know what I'm saying? We can go through Trayvon Martin, we can go through Mike Brown, we can go through all the different names that exist of police brutality, you know, toward black men. So that's what I was pulling from. And it just so happened that when I was releasing this video, unfortunately, the George Floyd situation went down. So, you know, just enjoy this new video. It's different because it's actually the first animated video I've done. There you go, Urban official video for Urban.
Okay.
Let's rock it. Let's rock it.
You might have to start it over. I don't think they can hear the music.
Were you able to hear it, Bilal?
Nah, bro. We need the audio. We need to get that fixed.
Let's pull it back.
Get that fixed. I got the Porsche.
I was texting you too, man.
Get that fixed. Hold on. You ready for that? We gotta get that fixed, man.
Right.
Pull it back. Let's do a part 2. Let's pull it back. Pull it back.
Pull that back.
Yeah, let's try it now.
Let's see. Bismillah. Pull that back. Here we go. Ooh.
Report about several suspects selling drugs. They pulled me over cause I'm urban, and I'm riding with a turban. Only said that I was smoking, said it smelled like I was burning. They said they heard that I was serving, but I know that that's a lie. They pulled me over cause I'm urban, and I'm riding with a turban. Only said that I was smoking, said it smelled like I was burning. They said they heard that I was serving, but I know that that's a lie. They pulled me over. I got 2 shots against me. I'm black and I'm Sonic. So sick of racial profiling. I think that I'm like Bonnet. Boy, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't puff the chronic. Most of the police be full of them. Need a straight colonic. I'm a Muslim American. Make that clear, give them clarity. They ban and Muslim, they say ain't no more room like the Sheraton. I remember I was living in the A on no Harris. They pulled me over, pulled me out the whip. It was embarrassing. Gangs, passports, taking pictures, just painting the narrative. Who would have thought I'd be preserving the aim with no parents? Labeled with 3 grips of a human. It's my complexion. Got his hand on his weapon, pointed in my direction. Drop it! Drop it! Drop the gun! Sir! Drop your gun! Hey, we work this out. It's not the big deal. Drop your gun! They pulled me over cause I'm urban, and I'm riding with a turban. Only said that I was smoking, said it smelled like I was burning. They said they heard that I was serving, but I know that that's a lie. They pulled me over cause I'm urban, and I'm riding with a turban. Only said that I was smoking, said it smelled like I was burning. They said they heard that I was serving, but I know that that's a lie. They pulled me over cause I'm urban, and I'm riding with a turban. Only said that I was smoking, they said it smelled like I was burning. They said they heard that I was serving, but I know that that's a lie. They pulled me over cause I'm urban, and I'm riding with a turban. Only said that I was smoking, said it smelled like I was burning. They said they heard that I was serving, but I know that that's a lie. They pulled me over cause I'm urban, and I'm riding with a turban.
Ooh, Akhi, that's hot.
Appreciate it.
That's hot.
That's it. That's it. Debut first animated video by Shadi Akhi live on New Freedom Exchange with your host and co-host Dean and Hassan. We here live. Any questions or comments? We thank Sister Lydia for being very active in the chat. Anybody else is welcome to come on. Ask Brother Shadi any questions. Prominent young brother in our community. As we do this next checkup, you'll see how he definitely represented the community and the evolution of the Nation of Islam to Imam Muhammad's community and preserving, again, not just the imagery, but the real mission, right? Because the mission is, of course, the message of the mind, but also, taking care of the responsibilities in your community.
Right.
So can you speak to that too? Like Bilal mentioned earlier about, the artists, the Islamic artists, and their contribution to the music genre in general. But also, what about the as he also alluded to, by not getting the support, it kind of stunts their role in community development and making the quality of life better as well.
Right. Well, first I want to say that, Islam always has had an effect on hip hop. If you look, not too much now, but if you look early on, you can talk about groups like, as I said, NWA. Mm-hmm. You could talk about groups like Poor Righteous Teachers. That was from New Jersey. Mm-hmm. A lot of them had bits and pieces of Islam in their music. Mm-hmm. Rappers from everybody, Jadakiss, everybody then, said Assalamu alaikum or put different aspects of Islam. It wasn't the full Islam, but they put different aspects of it in the music. So you know that it had a great influence on their music, their thought process. And you can just tell that it was something that they really respected. Because out of any other spiritual system, Islam was probably the most spoken about throughout 50 years of almost 50 years of hip hop. So as what else did you want to?
The importance of by not getting the support, like he's saying, for you to work towards your artistry, it kind of hinders your philanthropy. I mean, because you got people that's millionaires and billionaires, but they got the wrong mentality. Now here go brother got the right mentality. We give him $1 million and $1 billion. Look how much effective he would be where he come from, and he repping Trenton all through it. He repping Muslims all through it. So you give him the money. That's who you want to have the money.
That's right.
Yeah. I would say it goes back to what we were all saying, that we have to support our own. The industry has been known not to want to support positive music. So they want to put out these certain not just imagery but messages that are negative to our communities. And I don't know if y'all know, a lot of people, I've heard that these record labels, these major labels, also have stock in the prison system.
Absolutely.
So
it's part of the scheme, man. It's part of the scheme, Shadi.
Right. So they're not really going to put money behind us. That's something that we have to fund ourselves. I don't think the industry is, especially where we're going right now, it almost seems like things are getting worse. Like I said, if we look at the genesis of hip hop and what hip hop was talking about, and then as we see you going into the years, what hip hop is speaking about now, you know what I'm saying? And then we just look at not even just hip hop, but look at the whole world and where it's going right now. It's almost like the corruption keeps spreading. You know what I'm saying? And it keeps getting worse. So that's just something that we have to work with, and we just have to support our own. And the good thing about it, though, is that there are less gatekeepers now. Because we have the internet, because we have social media, because we can create our own websites, and the new technology that's out, we can kind of use it to counteract what's going on. You know what I'm saying? To counter and fight against all the negativity that's going on in the industry. Because like I said, the gatekeepers are kind of losing their power.
Mm.
You know, they still have power, but it's not like you have to go through them now.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, I try not to really think too much about. They're always going to fund the negativity. They're always going to fund these rappers, these different rappers that come out. It's going to be easier for them because, as we call it, if they agree to sell their soul, then they're going to give them the money to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I think us as Muslim artists, we just have to uphold our integrity. And I think as far as the Muslim community and just, you know, we need to work better at supporting our artists and putting funding and putting money behind our artists. And I think we'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? I definitely think more conscious music is coming back to the forefront. So although these mainstream labels and things like that, major labels, they continue to keep promoting the negativity. We have our own platforms now, and there's a lot more conscious music coming back to the forefront, you know, with the independent artists.
No doubt, no doubt. We want to read this quote from Sister Linda, who's kicking it to us. You know, I mean, that's the whole thing about the exchange. I mean, we bring the young, the present, the past, and the future. So the issue of support was present also in the 80s and to the present. It has always been difficult to encourage Muslims to only play and listen to the music as opposed to what is popular in the culture. So that makes me think of, like, you know, the story in the Quran that talks about the Musa, right, and the magicians, right, and so, like, you know, we might have to do a throwdown, man. We might have to do a Shadi versus, you know what I mean? Who the cats out? I don't even know the other cats out there, man. Who the other guys out there, man? You might have to do a split screen on that. But here goes something that we're working on here. It's called the It's Crucial, right? Because that's another program we got coming up. It's crucial, and I think some of the things that I'm learning from the previous leadership in our community is that, you know, they were always busy, you know, trying to maintain their family, trying to work, trying to take care of the masjid. They didn't have, and there wasn't a lot of professionals that was really focusing on these different areas of interest, right? And so that's what we want to do. We want to set up these teams, committees, as the imam actually had those things set up, but we know infiltration, all the other things that come in play. So you check out this link right here, tinyurl.com/it's crucial. And the whole thing is we want your voice to be the vision of our community. So we laid out a little 8 questionnaire just to get some feedback from the community. I want to give this track. I don't want to hold them too long. We do got a few more minutes left. So I got 2 more tracks. We're going to do a bonus track. We're going to hit it with the checkup. And then then we got something for the sisters. Can't forget the sisters.
No, can't forget the sisters.
And this is a classic. Hasn't been done before. He's claiming it.
Right.
So let's see what we're talking about right here. This is Shadi Akhi, the checkup. What y'all doing? What y'all doing? Oh, here we go.
Anthony.
Oh, they're trying to get me. They're trying to get me on the. We started talking about the industry. They got a little shaky.
Facebook said, "Shalal, you talking about our peeps, man? We gotta protect our people."
They got my battery low too, though. So we probably have to come back to that. I'm gonna have to go to a charger. All right. But I'll pull me out real quick and I have a few more questions. I'll get to a charger real quick.
All right, I'll pull you out. All right, so Sister Lydia said, "Please do a throwdown." That's right. We might have to make that happen, Shadi. We might have to make a throwdown happen.
Right.
Just for the culture one time, man. Like, but talk to me. Talk to us about you got any new music that you're working on? Any new things that we can look out for? That the people can look out for and they can support you?
Well, as I said, Sooner Music, the album,
okay,
is being released on all the platforms. It's currently on YouTube, but it's about to be on all streaming platforms: Apple Music, Amazon Music, whatever you're listening to, it's going to be on there. Like I said, you can also sign up for my membership site, shadiaki.com/membership. And that's $27 a month, but you get access to all of my music, you know, and anything, whether it's behind the scenes. You can also get a free T-shirt, you know, so that's just couple of the things that I got going on. As far as the music, I have a couple songs right now that I'm working on, but I'm not gonna,
all right,
say what those songs are.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. But just know that we want to be the first ones to play them.
Right,
we want to be the first ones to debut that, Shadi.
Yeah.
This is the platform. We want to establish a platform where, like, we can give our artists and the people and Muslim brothers and sisters a platform where they can, debut their content, also come on and talk about whatever there is that they're working on, man. So
Right.
whenever you're ready to whenever that's ready to hit, like let's do it, man. Let's do like a listen party. Let's get it going, man.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. This is for the community, man. Like this is what the people need to hear, man. This is what the people need to hear. Right. And I'll say this too, like, I think that the Christian community, the Black church, the African American church, I've come to acknowledge and see, more now due to these riots and due to the civil unrest that's going on, that there's a thirst, Shadi, there's a thirst for buying Black, for supporting our own, for building our own, for getting property, getting land. So there's a thirst to support our artists, man. I know there's a thirst out there, because it's coming to that point. It's boiling. We're at the boiling point right now. I mean, we might be above the tipping point. We might have reached the tipping point already, the boiling point already. But like at this point, a lot of people are starting to come to the reality that we need to do something, and we need to do something now to support our own. So, however that looks like, we want to make sure here on this platform, New Freedom Exchange, that we give the artists and the time to do so. Another question I would have for you, Shadi, since we're in this space, you're in Atlanta right now. Talk to us about your opinion of the current situation socially that's happening across the world with these protests and with this whole situation that's we're seeing right now, witnessing. I mean, it's certainly unprecedented for at least our generation. So give us your perspective on that.
I'm actually not against people protesting. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I think that this has long been, this has been something that's, been people have been waiting to do. You know what I'm saying? And what I would say though is that if the government, they can't tell people how to react. You understand what I'm saying? When you got the police killing us, not only just police killings, but when you just have oppression on all levels, politically, when you have it, we got this capitalist society where they're, they're getting over on people through contracts, and this is an oppressive society, and when you oppressive people, you can't tell people how to react. Right. You know what I'm saying? Especially you can't tell somebody to respond civilly when you're out there killing them in the street.
Right.
And when you're killing us in the street, you know what I'm saying? All the civil stuff goes out the door. People are going to start rioting. They're going to start looting and things like that. That's what oppressed people do. But I would say that I'm a part of a government right now called the Aboriginal Republic of North America. And it's a government that's formed specifically for Black people and enforcing and protecting our rights as a people. So although we have our brothers and sisters that are out there marching, protesting, looting, whatever they're doing, we also have to, work on the other end when it comes to politics, when it comes to contract law, and just basically making sure that we are in the position to enforce our own rights. And as you said, people are talking about, supporting our own, buying Black, different things like that. And the one thing that we must do is we must get back to governing ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? So autonomy, that's what we must get back to. And I know since we've, since slavery, we don't know what that looks like. You know what I'm saying? When slavery ended, we basically, decided to be ruled by the people that enslaved us. And that's because we were ignorant and we just did not, at that time, we didn't know any better. So like I said, right now, with everything that's going on, and the information that's accessible because of the internet and things like that, we can learn how to govern ourselves. Everything is not lost. You know what I'm saying? We just need to work hard, put our minds together, and figure out a strategy to get out of this mess that we in. But I feel like everybody needs to do their part. Like I said, whether you're protesting, like I said, you can't, the people that are rioting and looting, you can't tell a people whose human rights are being taken away how to respond to that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So we just need to do our part on all levels. Politically, we need to do our part in the streets. We need to do that part on all levels. And that the key to this, the key to getting our freedom, justice, and equality, what we spoke about in the beginning, is autonomy and self-governance. And receiving these reparations that we owe too. Right.
You're making points here, and can you also speak to the importance of establishing family life briefly? The importance of establishing family life, because if we don't establish healthy, sustainable family life, we cannot expect to establish healthy community life.
Right.
Can you speak to that for the importance of that, and how do you see about that?
Yeah. So everything starts from the family. You understand what I'm saying? The reason our communities are so messed up right now is because they broke down the family. Right? So I always say that when we talk about marriage, right? Marriage, a lot of people look at it as, oh, you love somebody, so you just get married. That's not the only thing that marriage is about. Right? Marriage is an institution of governing. You understand what I'm saying? Marriage is an institution of governing. So marriage governs your family. A successful marriage governs your family, and a successful families govern that community. So whenever you see a community that's broken down, then you know that there's broken families in that community. And whenever you see a broken family or broken families, you know that people are not getting married, or those marriages are broken down and they're not successful marriages. They're not healthy marriages. So when you look at all of the ancient civilizations, they were always ruled by families. You understand what I'm saying? So family is definitely key. And the reason that they've been able to keep us at the bottom this long is that they've broken our family up through different means. So that's what I got to say about that.
All right, so we here. They still trying to play with my joint, but we don't want to hold you because we did come up on the hour. I am going to try to play this track. We'll skip the checkup, but check that out.
I got time. It's cool.
Oh, Shadi said you got time, man. So I got time too, man. So let's figure this out, man.
Real quick.
Let's hit him with it, because you gotta hit him with it. And I'm sure. Do you have any more any questions for Shadi as we load up the track?
It's here now. It's here coming in.
Oh, here we go now. Right now.
Oh. I got my checkup. Gamble in the Reaper, I ain't cool with neither. Ain't handling the Nina, I don't use the heat. Ain't handling the leader, I still fool with Peter. I got my checkup. Gamble in the Reaper, I ain't cool with neither. Ain't handling the Nina, I don't use the heat. Ain't handling the leader, I still fool with Peter. Hop in there, hop out there. We Babies I can serve with the bakara. This is the genre that's popular. Show me somebody that's stopping us. Show me somebody that's topping us. Plant my foot in the game, I'm a botanist. Watching the seed grow. To the rose I'm me, bro. And the precious I'm Smeego. And a we go. But I fly like a seagull. And the money is ego. Every scene low. It go back to the people. I don't hit the casino. And my stilo. Change my life like Carlito. Love the mic like I'm Tito. Keep up Cheeto. Only one ain't no trio. Hit the one like he Neo. I got my check up. I got my check up. Gambling the reaper. I ain't playing neither. Ain't handling the Nina. I only use the heat. Ain't handling the leader. I still fool with people. I got my check up. I got my check up. Gambling the reaper. I ain't playing neither. Ain't handling the Nina. I only use the heat. Ain't handling the leader. I still fool with people. Shadi, I come on a mission. Islam, my true religion. Do this rap thing with precision. I just got tunnel vision. For the deen, I'll go to prison till Messiah has risen. I make every single dollar like I'm in the Musala. Right after I get the guala, spending the way of Allah. Came from Elijah Muhammad, so the bow tie's intentional. Still respected in the streets because we multi-dimensional. Make our own ways to get money, we don't do it conventional. Ain't no get down or lay down, cause membership is consensual. Akhi posse, flash by paparazzi, copy. You can try, but you can't block me. Satan tried to stop me. We the best of creatures, Allah named us young Khalifas. You step foot in my house, you gotta remove your sneakers. They say they love my delivery, they ain't talking pizzas. They talking about that soon the music banging out your speakers. I got my check up, I got my check up. Gambling the reaper, I ain't playing neither. Ain't handling the Nina, I only use the heat. Ain't handling the leader, I still fool with people. I got my check up, I got my check up. Gambling the reaper, I ain't playing neither. Ain't handling the Nina, I only use the heat. Ain't handling the leader, I still fool with people. We the best of creatures, Allah named us young Khalifas.
No. That's the best joint right there. Allah made us young Khalifas.
Yo. Just watch this Shadi Akhi checkup joint. Check that joint out on YouTube. That joint is hot, man. You got the Muslim Journal and the Final Call, man. Come on.
And the message to the black man. What you know about that?
Come on, Akhi. Come on, man. You see. So, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was going to say, talk to that, because that's a big. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I mean, online, man, you got people going at each other. Farrakhan, he not this, he not a real Muslim. You got, Warif Deen, he's a hypocrite, so it's like all this tug of war, and we the closest communities to each other in America. You know what I mean? We family. So Speak to that real quick, as you just mentioned about family. What about the communities that are families of each other?
That's one thing that I've been trying to do with my music. I don't know if you heard of Brother Ben X. You heard of Brother Ben X?
Yes. Yeah. Brother Ben X, yeah.
So I've spoken to him, and I reached out to him, and I told him that that's something I'm kind of trying to do is I think the youth could be doing is bringing our communities back together.
Let's set it up. Set it up.
Set up that throw down looking good. All right, let's throw down looking good.
Because as you know, united we stand, divided we fall.
Right.
So the government, and it was the government, they did very good at separating us.
Right.
We all know about COINTELPRO and how they put, Malcolm against Elijah, and I know y'all seen the Netflix special.
Oh, I believe it.
Right. So everything that they did. So I think us as the youth, one thing that we don't have is that I don't want to say hate, but we don't have that sour taste in our mouth of the people that were living during that time, for whatever happened. So as the youth, we just got to use logic. We got to use reason and come back together, because that's going to make us strong. You understand what I'm saying? We both have great things that we've taught. And if we can bring our minds together, we will be on a whole different level of knowledge. You know, if we are able to unite, and it's not really about trying to bring the elders, it's about the youth coming together, because we're the future anyway.
July 4th, y'all just heard it. July 4th, 2020, 90 years anniversary. Bring it to the meeting of the minds. I like it. I like it. Let's make it happen.
So yeah, that's definitely something I try to do with my music. That's why I tried to incorporate both. You know, because I wanted to show the entire community, not just a part of it. I know a lot of us look at each other as different communities now, but I always grew up, you know, learning about the nation, learning about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you know, learning about the different. Yeah, so we always grew up, and I think the Wharf Dean Muhammad community, like the elders, they've always had like a nostalgia about the back in the day Nation of Islam days. Like I see that, you know, they may not want to say it, but I think they always have. You know, whenever I see them speak about back in the days, and they say they was on a post or whatever, you know, it just seems you could see that light in their eyes. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just on us to, regardless of the differences that we have, to figure out how we can come together, and just to know that really we agree on more things than we disagree on.
Right on, right on. Let me play this last track because they harassed me up in here. That's why we got to get our own spots. We got to get, matter of fact, we're going to put this out here too. We just talked about the importance of supporting our artists, right? And it's not just monetary. There's also equipment. There's also space. And so that's one of the things we like to incorporate. Maybe at our mass shop, community centers, we could create a studio. We could create a creative studio where people could come in, lay down their tracks. You know what I mean? Do their podcasts, do their webinars, or whatever they got to do. So that's one of our intentions, inshallah. So I want to introduce this last track, Muslim Man with a Woman, first halal music, Shadi Akhi, Boss Lady, and you could close this out once we finish that. And inshallah, let's see, we get this in here real quick. And we thank all y'all for tuning in. Yeah, we can't forget the sisters, man. They're gonna come at you. You know what I mean? You forget the sisters.
There we go. Ooh.
Shadi, it's a gummy beat. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma, hey. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma, hey. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma, hey. Miss Boss Lady get nice, hey. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma, 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 Miss Boss Lady get nice, hey. Look through the balls, look at the flaws, dripping and salt. She making the prayers no matter the cost. No, she ain't putting it on. She repping the dean, know what I mean, so she ain't never been fall. She on the scene, getting that green, so she can never be bought. She getting that chick and on to the next. She demand respect, gotta come correct. Sauced up, dripping like ragu. While she walking down the avenue. If you really wanna bag you, gotta go talk to a Abu. Ain't talking to Aladdin, I'm talking to Dad, and no, he ain't having. No pants sagging, playing Madden. She ain't playing games, dealing with lames. Beautiful woman with brains. I call her Miss Boss Lady with the keyma, cause I don't know her name. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma, Miss Boss Lady with the keyma, Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady, Miss Boss Lady with the keyma, Miss Boss Lady with the keyma, Miss Boss Lady get nice. Miss Boss Lady, hey, Miss Boss Lady, Miss Boss Lady, hey, Miss Boss Lady,
boss, I don't gotta floss. Staying humble cause I was lost. Now I'm rocking my Kima, getting all of them Dina. On my Dina and I go hard. Alhamdulillah, gotta thank God. Elevating and I can't stop. Don't waste my time and you getting blocked. Blast up, I put you on the spot. I be making moves and talk a lot. Following procedure, example for me, Khadija. I'm tryna own, not leasing. Stay on my grind, straight beastin'. Black excellence, they queenin'. I gotta do it. Putting Zawa in albums, I thought you knew it. I'm about my business, I keep it fluent. I slay so effortless, ain't no congruent. Purifying my heart, cause I got affluence.
Miss Boss Lady with the Kima. Miss Boss Lady with the Kima. Miss Boss Lady with the Kima. Hey, Miss Boss Lady with the Kima. Miss Boss Lady with the Kima. Miss Boss Lady get be nice. Hey, Miss Boss Lady with the Kima. 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 Miss Boss Lady get be nice. Miss Boss Lady. Miss Boss Lady with the Kima. Miss Boss Lady. Miss Boss Lady with the Kima. Miss Boss Lady. Miss Boss Lady. Miss Boss Lady.
Woo, the bangers is coming one after another.
That was crazy, man. That's crazy.
Appreciate it.
Yo, this is crazy. I don't know, it's hot.
Appreciate it, bro.
Excellent. So check this out. Last comment here. The history is a car. Hit me with this one. Cornucopia. What's that? Cornucopia. Can look that up. Of different types of wisdom. You need some of all of it to make a feast. Okay. Never let anyone make you reject any of it. Yeah, absolutely. Not at all. No, we claim it all. That was one of our convention themes several years ago, was claim your inheritance.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, as me and Bilal, we did a listening session. The 1977, Imam Muhammad was talking about the when you inherit something, you're obligated to improve upon that inheritance. But you're also the responsibility of one who inherits is to remove those things that's offensive. And so, as people are listening to us, don't think that we're denying any of our history or inheritance. If anything, we're edifying it and making it palatable for people to take it today. You know what I mean? So, any closing remarks, shout outs?
For me? You talking to me?
Yes, sir. You man of the hour.
Shadi. So, the platform is yours, man.
Right. I just want to say thank you for supporting me. You know, as a Sunni music artist, as you said, it's you know, it's very difficult to try to get our music out in a environment that has a lot of negativity. But I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep going hard, keep going in, and I just want to say, you know, thank you to everybody for supporting my music.
No doubt. Appreciate you. We're definitely going to do a round two. We're looking forward to that July 4th Independence Day for real.
Okay.
Taking it to a whole nother level.
Right.
Any closing remarks, Bilal?
I just have to say that, alhamdulillah, we're very grateful for this opportunity to be with you all on another blessed Saturday. Blessed opportunities to be in the presence of some of our most talented Muslim from the African American experience, you know, delivering this art and creativity to us all, for all of us to benefit, for all of us to consume, wherever you're Christian, whatever you're Jewish, whatever faith tradition or spirituality tradition that you follow, this music is for all of us. It's for all of our consumption. So my last remarks is to definitely support Shadi Akhi, but also support the other Muslim artists that's out there as well. We put Instagram, Shadi Akhi's on Instagram, instagram.com/Shadi Akhi. Check out his website, shadiakhi.com. Become a member. Put your $27 up. That's chump change for some of us, Akhi.
Right.
You know, so I'm saying those rolling out here talking about big rolling big bands out here. So $27, you get you a T-shirt, you get you access to some exclusive content. Shadi said you got some heat coming out soon. So we're gonna stay tuned because New Freedom Exchange, we're gonna be dropping some heat rockers. So stay tuned, man.
Yeah, so let me say the rest of my social media real quick. So as he said, Instagram.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Right, so Instagram at Shadi Akhi, Twitter at Shadi Akhi, Facebook /Shadi Akhi. Everything is Shadi Akhi. YouTube as well. YouTube.com/Shadi Akhi. And SunaMusic.com is how you sign up for my membership site. That will take you over to my private site, which is ShadiAkhi.com.
Nice. All right. So once again, we thank you all for tuning in. New Freedom Exchange. We have our live show again. This will be on podcast or Blog Talk Radio this coming Monday, 7 p.m. on station IWDM. We'll be blessed with Sister Zaima, another artist in our community, and she's going to share some of her success actually combating COVID-19, how she got through that. So God willing, we'll see you all on that platform. Until then, peace. We're going to leave y'all with a little piece right here from the Imam. And talk to y'all later. Assalamu alaikum. Appreciate you, Shadi, coming through, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Now, in concluding this, when the slave traders and the black traders of Africa, traitors, when the slave traders and the traitors of Africa called themselves Muslims, for fighting each other and carrying on and weakening their people over there so that the white traders come in there and get us, take us on slave ships and bring us here. Now, all right? Yeah. So now, when all that happened, what you think was happening to our human soul? Let me tell you, God has given me an eye to see into the very abstract form of the human being by my study of the Quran. Yes. Now, I'm going to tell you what was happening. I know, as if I was there. The soul of those victims had given up on this world. They knew they were going to their death. They knew they were going to circumstances that were going to finish them off. They would never have their lives again. They knew that. But in their soul, they were saying, our children will one day be free again, and they will serve God. We have failed, but our children will one day serve God. And now their prayer that they prayed in the deep recesses of their soul has come true. And not only of the descendants of the black people of Africa, from Islam, coming to Islam, taking up the divine cause, but those who never were Muslims, their children from Christianity, their children from Judaism, their children from paganism, are embracing Islam in America. And we are going to build New Africa. New Africa, right here in the United States. Allahu Akbar. And the soul of those suffering victims, they're rejoicing because of us here today.